This is the new Porsche 911 Turbo S.
Only it's not. It's the help desk at SAS Airlines in Copenhagen. Now, I'm supposed to be flying from here to Stuttgart to pick up the new 911 Turbo S for an exclusive test drive. Unfortunately, they cancelled our flight in the morning. We're trying to figure out how the heck to get there. We've got one day with the car. It looks like our time could run out. We might have no time with the car. I don't know if this is even going to happen. It's chaos. Got to get to Germany somehow.
Luckily, we managed to get the last 2 tickets on a flight to Munich. And we plan to drive from there to Porsche's home in Zuffenhausen, over 2 hours away. But that's if we could even catch the flight, because it was about to take off and we hadn't even got through security yet.
Just gonna have to do a cheeky push in. I've been trapped. Sorry, our flight's going.
I hoped everyone else in the airport would understand that I had a very important car to test. Unfortunately, the airport staff were less accommodating because they immediately pulled Lewis aside to stop him filming. This was the last thing we needed.
We managed to push ahead of the security queue. Lewis didn't get arrested, which is good. However, his bags with cameras has gone down the wrong lane. Time is ticking, flight's about to take off, they're already boarding, and we're getting told off by random people, but yeah, hopefully we'll make it. Thankfully, Lewis's pelly case with the cameras and stuff got through. It didn't take too long, so we're just going to rush to the gate now, and maybe we will make the flight. Where is it? Where are you? Munich. Got to get to gate B7. Let's rush.
We hurried to find the gate because we knew that waiting for us in Stuttgart was an exclusive opportunity that no other journalist has. I'll be able to test the new Turbo S on a de-restricted Autobahn, time it from 0 to 60, and I get to uncover the truth about how much power it really makes. But would we actually get to Germany in the first place? Or would this all be for nothing? This really is the new Porsche 911 Turbo S, and it's the quickest accelerating road car Porsche has ever made. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. We made it. Let's start this video by talking about the design changes over the previous generation Porsche 911 Turbo S. Now, big difference is down here. So we've got these special vents which exit heat from the new intercoolers for those hybrid turbos. More on those in a bit. This car has like the upgraded sports pack, so you have these fins on the bumper and stuff like that, and the oval tailpipes with this titanium blue effect there as well. As standard, you get like these square tailpipes. We're actually here in Zuffenhausen, just outside Porsche's offices. Just collected the car. So what else have we got here? We've got a new colour. This is called Turbo Sight. So it's sort of like a grey, a shiny matte grey, and it's on the Turbo S badge as well. Moving up here, you have this new grille for the second generation 992 Turbo S, and this is unique to the Turbo S, this kind of like bumpy braille effect, so blind people can read that this car, yeah, that's the Turbo S. It's clearly very, very fast. And obviously you have the new taillight design that you get on the 992.2 generation of 911. Now, this car has upgraded optional wheels which were available on the previous 992.1, but as standard, the Turbo S gets upgraded unique wheels for its 992.2 generation. Another thing you need to know is that the brakes at the rear, the standard common ceramics, are slightly bigger, so you've got improved braking performance. Obviously, like the previous generation Turbo, you've got the side vents and the wider turbo body. Moving down the side, not much has changed compared to the 992.1. This one has the exposed carbon fibre roof. In fact, this particular car has quite a few optional extras. Also, as you can see, we've got the turbo sight round, the window surround. You can have it in chrome or black if you prefer. Mustn't miss this, the T hybrid logo. You can deselect that if you don't want it, but it's important because it highlights this as being the new car with a hybrid system. Okay, at the front, look, there's some more winglets here, part of the upgraded sport package. And just like the GTS, you have the new headlight cluster, so everything is included in this headlight. So the indicators, which used to be down here, are now moved up to here. And that's because down here you have the vents like on the GTS, and those close at higher speeds to improve your aerodynamics. One last thing to point out is this: we have the Porsche logo in this turbo sight. Actually looks quite nice. What do you think about the blue paint though? I like it, but do you? Let me know in the comments. As is the Porsche way, some of these features I've shown are quite expensive optional extras, like the carbon roof. In fact, the total price of this particular car is pretty incredible, and I'll reveal exactly how much it's worth later in the video. But first, let's check out the cabin. Here on the inside, there aren't that many changes over the previous generation Turbo S. However, you do get this new carbon fibre here on the dash and on the door trims, which has a gold fleck in it. Also, there's the Turbo Sight finish. to the trim pieces here, here, and here on the doors. Another thing they have is some more intricate stitching here. Look at that. Haven't seen that before. And of course, being the latest generation of 911, you have a full digital driver's display with a digital tachometer rather than the analog one. And you don't start it with a like paddle key thingy, you press a button. Anything else? Maybe that logo there. Oh, and they've also changed the pattern on the seats a little bit to grip your body a bit better. And on the standard car, you get a perforated Racetex roof lining. This one actually has some options on it, so this is like a smooth Racetex roof lining. In case you're wondering, Racetex is Porsche's version of Alcantara. It means that they can use Alcantara without having to pay the Alcantara people for the brand name. Now, we all know that the back seats in a Porsche 911 aren't particularly comfy, but they're better than no back seats at all. Though, word of warning, for this new Turbo S, they're on the options list. They're a non-cost option, granted, but you do have to tick the box, otherwise your car will be delivered without them. All right, so make sure you tick that box. Another thing I want to say is this, look, as standard, the seat belts in this car come in that turbo sight colour. These ones have been changed to black as an upgrade. I don't know why they did that. To be fair, these changes are pretty minor, and that's because Porsche spent all of its time and effort working on the engine. It's a twin-turbo version of the new 3.6-litre flat-six hybrid you get in the GTS, although it has plenty of very important upgrades. But is it better than the old Turbo S's simpler, non-hybrid 3.8-litre turbo engine? Well, before I analyse its performance, there's another important aspect I can test right here in this car park. Let's do a cold start on this new engine. Oh, it just fires into life instantly because of the hybrid system. Do you know what? I think I'm used to my 911 ST. Sounds good, but whenever I'm sat in a Porsche 911, especially one with this colour interior, I'm just going to think of my ST, and that sounds better. But this still sounds good. I think we really need to be driving it there, don't we? Actually, I'm going to have a little listen to it from the outside. So, Lewis, give it some revs. I think it sounds better than the old one. That really sounded like a vacuum cleaner when you revved it stationary. This new Turbo S sounds a bit better so far. The first thing I've got to do is get out of this car park, and it's pretty narrow where the curbs are. Oh, thankfully 360-degree cameras. They're an optional extra, obviously. It's a Porsche. It's one thing I find about the 992, you sit really low in it, and yeah, I can jack up my seat, but being a sports car, you want to sit low, and sometimes it can be hard to judge where the corners are compared to like earlier 911s. I'm going to go manual mode. I always go manual. I'm in sport mode, so reasonable response. Oh, we were coasting then, I hit the brake and the stop start cut out the engine. I don't like stop start. Here's some strange German speed humps. God, they're brutal. Thankfully the Turbo S has that clever extending spoiler, so it's not permanently out when you're just driving around town, so you don't end up like bottoming out or needing to stop for the nose lift like you would do in a GT car. Here we go again. For a sports car though, one with such performance, it deals with those quite well. Anyway, we're racing now to head to a certain place where we're going to vouch the power of this car. Porsche don't know I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to get the car on the dyno. Issue is that the dyno shop shuts at 5, and it says we're going to arrive there at 4:15, and the time keeps going up because we're heading into German rush hour traffic. Will we make it? It's what happens when you blooming get a cancelled flight. Nightmare, ruins your entire day.
I've been trapped.
After we've been to the dyno, I want to get this car on the Autobahn. I fear that it might be getting dark by then. I also got to test it on some twisty roads near the Black Forest. Once again, it'll probably be dark by then. But let's see how we get on. This is a race against time to uncover the truth about the new Porsche 911 Turbo S. Luckily, I had the perfect car to exploit every clear stretch of road in this rush hour traffic, no matter how brief. Oh, what? Right, straight away there, that pickup just round town, that little, that little bit that you need when you're like trying to just nip through a gap in traffic. This straight away, I can tell, just has more oomph than the old Turbo S. So the old Turbo S was great once it came on and you like started to move a motor. This instantly, the pickup, wow, that's the benefit of the hybrid system. Now, in case you're wondering, this isn't the official launch event of the 911 Turbo S. That is actually happening at a later date in Spain at a racetrack. I was invited to that, but I can't make it because I'm doing something else. So Porsche has kindly made this car available to me in Germany. And that's why I'm driving it around Stuttgart to test it rather than just hooning it around a track. To be brutally honest though, a lot of Turbo S drivers are more likely to be spending their time here than on a track. So it's actually a very good test. Whoa, that pickup there was noticeable, like trundling in second. I probably shouldn't be testing it in like manual mode. I know that's how I drive, but most people who drive these cars will probably just be in auto. Blimey, that was like, yeah, I mean that pickup, the old car was nothing like that. Oh, it's so smooth, the system in auto, just the way it manages the gearbox, the hybrid system, the electric motor, all of that stuff, it just seems to know what it's doing and what it wants to do. I noticed like with the Mercedes E-Performance models, they struggle, like the electric motor doesn't want to work with the petrol engine quite so much in the gearbox, they all get a bit confused. This Porsche system though, it's fully aligned, everyone is on board, they're all on the same page, all the components you can tell, they're working together as a tightly knit team, a bit like Germany in the 1990 World Cup, greater than the sum of their parts. This thing just wants to go.
Thankfully, all this very scientific testing of this car's acceleration meant we just made it to the dyno in time.
I've come to THT Performance just outside of Stuttgart to get the car on the dyno. We've got Toby there, the owner, who's setting up the car now as we speak. The engine is based on the one in the GTS, so you've got a 3.6 litre flat six with electric turbos. Now on the GTS you have a single turbo. It's slightly larger than the two that you get on this Turbo S. Now the ones on the GTS can spin up to 125,000 RPM. The smaller ones on this Turbo S can spin up to 145,000 RPM. The turbos, while smaller than on the GTS, are bigger than on the old Turbo S. Now what happens is that when you're driving the car along, the turbos spin and they harvest energy, they keep the emissions down, and they put that energy into a battery which can then power an 82 horsepower electric motor that's in the dual clutch automatic gearbox. Now the electric motor that you get in the GTS is about 26 horsepower down on the one in this Turbo S. Then you've got the engine itself, so the block is the same as on the GTS, but all the internals are different, like the pistons and all that kind of stuff. Now the result is a maximum of 711 horsepower. Now originally the target for this car was 710 horsepower, but the guys at Zuffenhausen thought they'd have a bit of fun and they increased it to 711. Why? Well, because the dialing code for Stuttgart is 711. So they thought, why not just get an extra horsepower? But have they managed that? Can it really do 711 horsepower? We're going to find out now by running it on the dyno.
Straight away, I could tell that Porsche's engineers might have been telling a few white lies.
That's not full throttle.
It was, it was not the limiter. I have 200 RPM more, but...
Okay, let's go again, let's go again.
I can make again a measure.
Yes! Okay, so first run, 717.5 horsepower and 809 newton meters. It's supposed to have 800 newton meters of torque, so a little bit above there. And you say there's a bit more RPM to play with. Come on then.
This is important because this new engine revs all the way to 7,500 RPM instead of just 7,000 RPM like the old Turbo S. So this time, Toby would push the engine all the way to its absolute limit.
This is interesting. On the first run we did 717.5 horsepower. It dropped to 715.6 horsepower because the car had heated up a bit, so you got some losses. But torque went up from 809 to 830 newton meters. Why?
In the high RPM. You see?
What? That's the...
When I go from the acceleration in the first measure,
Yeah.
there was potential.
Okay.
There was more potential for the RPM, for the torque.
This is strange. Turbocharged engines produce lots of torque, which usually plateaus as the revs increase. But this engine seemed to be producing a sudden spike of torque at very high revs. What was going on?
What we decided to do is let the car cool down a bit. Get some oxygen in here, because often when you run a car, it'll get a little bit hot, a bit of a heat soak, and the power reduces. So we're going to do one last run, see if we can beat that 717 horsepower. Fingers crossed. That's higher than before. So we have got 724.6 horsepower. We round that up, 725 horsepower. Peak torque, 853.6, 854 newton meters, and you can see the torque curve now. So big ramp up there. So this is your electric motor providing power, an electric motor and turbo spooled. Yeah. So peak torque. And it fades slightly, and then here we have like this pickup there, which once again you can see here, nice pickup there, steady, and then at the top end, a nice top end rush, almost like a GT3 or something.
When I see this curve, you can make it better.
That's a fun curve.
Porsche did a really good job in this case.
I need to get myself out on the Autobahn and experience that. Anyway, Porsche lied, didn't they? They lied a little bit. This car doesn't have 711 horsepower, it has 725 horsepower. Fact tested by me and Toby over here. Thank you very much, Toby. Appreciate it.
Thank you too.
Obviously, I needed to find somewhere to put this incredible power and torque to the test. And luckily, I wasn't far from some of the best speed-restricted autobahns in Germany. However, these are also some of the busiest. So rather than head straight there and run into loads of traffic, I decided to test a few other things about this new car first.
The sun is starting to set and I'm heading out to find a road where I can launch this car. I want to see what it can do from 0 to 60 miles an hour. So I want to feel the performance that I've seen on the dyno graph. One thing I've noticed just cruising along in this Turbo S around 120 kilometers an hour, which is roughly 70 miles an hour, there seems to be a lot less road noise than in the previous Turbo S. And Porsche's actually fitted it with some new tyres which have been specifically designed for less road noise. They work! Normally in a 911 you get loads of road noise, but not here. Not anymore. That is good. 0 to 60 is supposed to take 2.5 seconds, which is 0.2 of a second quicker than the old car. Let's test it out now with the specialist timing gear. .59 seconds. A little bit of wheel spin. Cold tyres. I reckon we can give it another go. Let's turn the stability all the way off. Way! That's the number. 2.48. It does the numbers in more ways than one. 2.44. It keeps getting quicker.
There is no doubt that the new hybrid tech helps improve this new car's straight line performance, but there's more to it than that. The 400 volt electrical system that drives the electric motor and the new turbos has enough grunt left over to power the new dynamic chassis control. This isn't quite the same as in the new Panamera, which can lift its whole body up and physically lean into corners, but it does actively control the anti-roll bars to help the new Turbo S stay flatter through the bends and maintain optimal tyre contact with the road. Porsche's lowered the new engine mounts by 50mm to reduce the centre of gravity too, and this particular car has the optional sport suspension which drops the ride height by a further 10mm. So has this all worked?
Finally got to a twisty bit of road, and as you can see it's now rather dark, but let's see what we can do with this car. Blimey, it stays flat through the bends, this thing does. Yeah, it's just on point when it comes to finding out the corners. No matter where you are in the road range, we seem to just have boost. Yeah, I mean, this thing just rips. No, it's heavier than the old car, but it disguises it well, and it's certainly very, very capable. I mean, you're not going to notice the difference really that much on the road. It just wants to go, this thing. So easy to drive fast. Got all that traction from the four-wheel drive system. Mainly feels rear-wheel drive, but when you need it, you can feel the front's just hooking up.
I was also glad Porsche decided to upgrade the standard fit carbon ceramic brakes on this car. These are the largest fitted to any two-door Porsche. You've got 420mm disc gripped by 10 piston calipers up front and 410mm disc gripped by 4 piston calipers at the rear.
I like the feel of the brake pedal. It's solid, but it's also progressive. It's just exactly what you want. Whoa! What a wild, wild machine. The steering is typically predictable, and you can feel the rear axle steering just a bit like helping the car like just tip into the corners. It just feels so stable and solid and sorted. They've done it again. Shame I wasn't here earlier to enjoy it in the daylight. Okay, so I mean, yeah, this thing is more than capable of demolishing any form of twisty road. It really is. What I want to do now though is see how it can demolish a de-restricted bit of Autobahn. Let's see if we can find some. But I was about to make a pretty silly mistake that could completely ruin my chances of doing any high-speed testing. That is strange. I just pressed a button to turn off the headlights so we could see if we can get some better shots with the camera without the main beam just going crazy. I turned the car off when I was moving and it won't seem to go in gear again now. Let's have a look. Will you go in gear? Yeah, we're on. We're okay, it's working. It says chassis fault though, visit workshop. I think I'm gonna have to reboot it. Now that is one thing I wouldn't have done accidentally if I'd have had the little twisty knob to start it, but yes, here we are with improvements. Right, let's give it a go. Let's turn it off and on again and clear that fault. Right, where's the key? Where's the key? Have I broken it? Are you working? And all was right with the world again. Now before we head to the Autobahn so I can max this new car, I need to tell you about another area where it's worse than its predecessor. Price. The original 992 Turbo S cost from £156,000 when it came out in 2020. That rose to almost £181,000 by the time it went off sale last year. But this new model, with all its hybrid technology, costs £199,100, and it's a further £10,000 if you want the cabriolet. Admittedly, you do get a lot more power and torque in this new car, and some extras are now standard, like the titanium sports exhaust. But why is the front axle lift system still a £2,000 option? It should be standard. In fact, this particular car has over £26,000 worth of extras, so it costs over £225,000. Autobahn, I'm going to let rip. It's got a slight kink in it actually. I'm not going to let rip here. Maybe I will. Jesus. Nighttime Autobahn blasting. Oh, this is not great. Oh, what a junction. Only the Germans could have a junction like that. We never have crazy junctions like that in the UK where you're just so committed you have to pull out and people aren't moving out the way for you. It's just bizarre. And already we're straight into traffic. This day has been a little bit problematic. Oh wait, hello. We're in de-restricted zone, but it's pointless because we've got so much traffic. The top speed of this new Porsche 911 Turbo ST Hybrid is 322 kilometers an hour, which is this in miles an hour. Now, the old model was actually 330 kilometers an hour. This one is slower. What's that all about? It's got more power. It makes no sense. Well, it's all to do with the new tyres, which require slightly lower air pressure to give you more grip and improve comfort. However, this means they aren't suitable for speeds over 200 miles an hour or 322 kilometers an hour. So Porsche decided to limit the car's top speed by capping the hybrid system's combined power output, but only at high revs in 8th gear. So actually, when you're at 322 kilometers an hour, it's not using the full 725 horsepower. But let's see how quick we can go in it. Here we go. God, you're just going on the traffic so quickly. It's chaos. And it's no longer de-restricted. Let's hear it through a tunnel. And that's not fake cabin noise. The problem is the mics just pick up like tyre noise, but here we go. Wow, yeah, it sounds pretty meaty. Here we go, de-restriction coming up. Let's just ring it out in third. Here we go. Someone behind me getting cross, de-restricted now. Frickin' heck. Whoa, watch those numbers climb. On the brakes hard. Wow. This thing just absolutely tanks. You can really feel that top end rush that we saw in the dyno. Here we go again. There it is. Oh, it's madness. It's madness. It's madness. Yes, yes, yes. This is what I was after. Oh, that third gear pull is just sweet as. And now, like, right, I'm in 4,000 RPM. Put your foot down, it's just on boost straight away. Wow. Oh, back at a 120. Gotta say, these lights are bloody good. This has got the Porsche Dynamic Lighting Plus, so matrix LEDs blanking out the beam so I don't dazzle the drivers in front, but nicely illuminating the road around me. Really, really good. I tell you what, if you are not right at the chuff of the car in front of you, you will get flashed by other road users behind you here in Germany. They want you on it. Here's some more de-restricted. Well, I'll show the person behind me on it. Got it in manual. You hit the limit like a wall. There's no it's just like bang. The pull on this. Oh, it's madness. It just feels so planted, so stable, so sure-footed at these speeds as well. Oh, the fourth gear roll on is just insane too. Look, this is what happens, right? I don't really want to get close to the car in front and then someone just undertakes. I just can't believe the response of this engine. Like there in fifth, like there, it's just on it. Really feeling the benefit of like the hybrid system. The electrified turbochargers just boosting straight away like that. Look at that. The extra oomph you get from the motor and the gearbox, I am definitely noticing it. I think it sounds better than the old Turbo S as well here on the inside. Let's go into auto mode. I tell you what, this kickdown is no joke. Look, I'm in 6th, just cruising, floor it. It's just the closing speeds. Let's just go into like normal mode. Okay, 8th, floor it. Wow, that was on it really quick. Like dropped 4 gears. The kickdown is definitely better than on the old Turbo S. 3, 2, 1, 8th, 2, 4th, like that. Jesus. Accelerating repeatedly in an electric car just isn't as fun as accelerating repeatedly in an internal combustion engine car. I think it's the build-up of power, the build-up of noise. Like, yeah, it just builds and builds and builds. That's what it's about. Just, I don't know whether it's because I've just been trained from a young age that is where the fun is at. And if I, grew up with electric cars, then I'd be all about the instant torque, but there's something just about that, just ripping through a rev range. But my fun was about to end because Porsche was anxiously waiting for me to return their car. So as I approached the very last section of the de-restricted Autobahn on my journey, I gave it absolutely everything. I guess the faster I drove, the sooner they get their car back. Right? How fast can we go? Oh my goodness. Well, I don't think I'm going to be going any quicker than that. I'm going to call it a night. Well then, we made it back to Porsche's headquarters. We returned the car. It is night time, need to get to bed, but I need to give you my final verdict first. If you want the maddest and baddest and most bonkers GT sports car, go right ahead and buy the new Porsche 911 Turbo S.